Hello, hi. How is everyone today? Not tonight, today. I'm Mary Amy, and this is Living in the Light, and I'm coming to you live from New York. Welcome. Hello, here we are. It's Friday, and I'm all about shifting away darkness, guiding you to truth's potential, and cracking open that beautiful glowing light in your heart. Well, it's June 9th, and I am actually pretty surprised, excited, a little overwhelmed, a little joyful, and content all at the same time. And I could say that if I tune into my heart. And I'll tell you why in just a second. So, tonight, what are we going to speak about? Or today, I should say, it's not evening yet. We're going to speak about Earth news. We're going to speak about light travel. We're going to speak about lucid dreams and some healer techniques. Let's see. I would like to mention to you that it's a good idea for you to write down and journal, maybe get a little composition book, your sleeping dreams. Your sleeping dreams are I guess you could say, your subconscious, and your subconscious is leading you down a path. And I believe that it's your spirit giving you information about you and what you should be doing. And sometimes, because I will get into lucid dreams, sometimes our dreams are blurry and we don't really remember them. And then other times they're extremely vivid and they seem real. And that's a lucid dream. And our dreams really can show us so much about ourselves, our essence, a path we should go down, ways we can improve our life. And that's why I make it a concerted effort to mention writing down your sleeping dreams. So write down your sleeping dreams, either write it down in a notebook, write it down on a piece of paper. You don't have to examine it over and over again, but acknowledge it. It's funny that when we acknowledge a dream, then the theme kind of resonates within us, and then we might realize something that we hadn't thought of before. Now, if you're someone who has many dreams, hey, music, you have many dreams that you remember, you might realize that you're in the astral realm. Like in the last, I can be very specific with you about my experience, which is in the last few months, it seems like at night, I'm going to a whole nother world, and I'm not necessarily fighting off anything. I'm just literally, it's almost like so lifelike that there's parts of my dreams that seem as though it's right now, here and now in the physical reality. It's kind of exciting. And so I wake up and I'm like, oh, I had such a wonderful night's sleep. And it's like waking up to flowers blossoming all around me and a garden, because that's how good I feel. And if we pay attention to our dreams, it will take us to our higher consciousness. So know that. Why do we want to reach our higher consciousness? Because basically that's the best and most fullest version of you. Your higher consciousness is really equals your spirit. Your spirit. And your spirit is all of your ideas and your beliefs and your wants and your desires, and you actually seeing the world through fresh eyes is your spirit. And that's why we want to realize our higher consciousness. Now, if we keep track of our dreams, if we meditate, if we close our eyes and, like we do together here a lot of days, practice our clairsenses, we will reach our higher consciousness. Now, I'm not going to forget to tell you it's highly important to also love yourself, love others, have forgiveness, because when we run around our physical reality and we're harboring ill thoughts for others and have mean stuff going on, I'm going to revenge that person, or I'm going to get them out of my way, or I guess get back at them if they betrayed you, is that going to reach your higher consciousness? Probably not, because our higher consciousness is a place of peace and love and purity. And it's really, you're calm there. And the emotions I just mentioned, if you're having anger or fear or I guess shame or hatred, those aren't calm emotions. Now, I'm not saying like push them down inside of you or push them away. We have to get through them. We have to get through them. No one out here in the physical reality cares because they're on their own entire journey for themselves. We have to learn about self-realization, self-actualization, and realizing and turning inward and discovering all the sides of ourselves, the good, bad, and the ugly. All right, so dreams, our intention is complex because you might say, oh, I have a good intention, but then you're carrying around something with you. Maybe it's worry, maybe it's doubt. Let's be sure, let's be aware if we are clear when we have a good intention. And let's, like I said, let's try to, we want to just hug ourselves and really become someone that is accepting of ourselves, self-acceptance, self-confidence. Oh, by the way, Elsa's right over here. Who's here tonight? Hey, music. I had a weird dream the other day, only a snippet of what I remember. My dog was lying down on the bed and embers and fire totally pervious to the flames. He looked so cozy in there. Interesting. I'm going to get into the Earth news and talk about the wildfires. I remember thinking in the dream, hey, Ghost Night, hey, music. Weird, it isn't affected by the flames, maybe. Well, you know what, to me, that's symbolic of your music, what your dream is. I would say that's symbol, or I would say that to me, the meaning of that dream is even if there's a fire, your loved one, your little puppy dog, is going to be okay. Even if there's, a dire situation, because a fire is pretty extreme, isn't it? Fire is hazardous to our health. A fire is something that can do us in, can it? And the fact that your puppy dog was okay, and it might also mean and signify that you can get out of the way of trouble. I have little Elsa over here. Elsa, I don't know if you remember that Elsa was going through some hard times. Here's little Elsa. She had her grooming. Look at Elsa. She's my little co-host. And so Elsa had, Elsa's, I call her my puppy dog, but Elsa's 9. And Elsa, look at her. She's like, I don't like the bright lights and I don't like to be shown off. And we took her to the vet, and she had to get a shot, her rabies shot. And Elsa was going through something about 3 weeks ago, and she was shaking, and I had to carry her up and down stairs. And we took her to the vet, and the vet said that she had arthritis, and she's just not a spring chicken anymore. She also has to lose some weight, maybe go on some more walks. But there's Elsa. So she's saying hi to everyone. Hello everyone. Hello, living in the light. All right, so intention, dreams, and thoughts. Our thoughts are very powerful. Now let me get on to Earth news. Now, Earth news is basically right now, it's going to be me discussing and mentioning some topics and some Earth-related information. I feed her more truth to help her realize. Okay. And in the last few days, and I've mentioned this so many times, there has been UFO disclosure coming out. Now, before I get into that, I want to mention I'm in New York, and I don't know where you are, but we had the strangest couple of days this week. The one day it was hailing, then the next day the skies were orange, and the sun was orange, and we had smoke. And the smoke, if you didn't experience this, you wouldn't understand what I'm saying, or you wouldn't realize that it was extreme. And they told us on our phones, or they told us even, in our town, that the air quality was really poor. I think the worst it can be is 500, and it was 275. Now I'm I'm not far from New York. I know that Pennsylvania was 500. Rhode Island was it 500? But what caused this? What caused this smoke? And you could feel like when you went outside, your eyes were stinging. Now, I had the door open for a little bit, but then my eyes were stinging, and I also would feel like some kind of mucus in my throat, and I would have to like really intentionally swallow. So it was affecting me. Now, what was this from? They say that there was between 2 and 400 wildfires happening at the same time. Now, do I question that? It was kind of strange. It was strange in that it's strange because it's so uncommon. I mean, I know in California there's fires, but here in New York, it's not something that I've ever experienced before in my life for there to be smoke outside and you have to go inside because of it. Now, today it's much better and it's fine. I mean, the sun's shining and we're all okay, but I don't know what was going on. I don't know if that was intentional. I was looking for videos about the wildfires. Did you experience this as well? I don't know what states you were in. I don't know where you are. Did anyone else experience ghost night? I've noticed recently the sky has been blood red in different regions. I know, and that's very strange. Arthritis. That's right. Arthritis in her joints. She has joint arthritis. Elsa does. Well, no, you know what? It's from music, to be honest with you. The type of puppy dog she is, that's common. And she also, her front legs and her back legs are shorter and they go like this. So she's kind of bow-legged. So she was just going through so much all at once, but she's okay now. All right. Well, so the wildfires in Quebec, Canada, I want to mention that. Now I want to get into the UFO crash, and I don't know if you're going to be interested in this, the DUMBs. Now this we're going to kindly touch on, and then I want to get into lucid dreams and light work. I want to share with you how to light travel and some healer techniques. We're going to touch on the Merkaba. Okay, so the UFO disclosure that's going on right now. I've mentioned to you about Project Bluebeam and this fake alien invasion. What seems to be happening right now is the fact that the mainstream media is bringing up, and they're actually doing news stories on UFOs and aliens, it means that they're kind of trying to bring it forward. And I always say, why do they tell us a story? Unless they want to lead us down a path to be slaughtered. Don't I say that? Because we're the sheep and they want us to, they want to just take us to be slaughtered. And the UFO stories might be coming out in their perspective, in the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and the elite cabal, because they want us to be aware that it's a real thing, so that they do the Project Bluebeam, which is this hologram and these lasers through the sky. However, what's going on, and I'm realizing, is that instead of people believing that, they're starting to say, oh my gosh, UFOs and aliens are real. So I'm going to tell you a couple of stories that came out recently. Last year, 2 years ago. Right. You're absolutely correct, Ghost Knight. The Pentagon released information because they were setting it up as well. And this is the last card they're going to pull, because what's going on right now, there's things going on with the administration. There's a laptop. There's these LLC companies. Also, what else is going on is that they have now indicted Donald Trump again. They're trying to drag him through some more muck and take him down. But guess what? I don't think you can take that guy down. He's never going to get taken down. They're always going to lose. Good will triumph. I'm saying good will triumph always. Right? And what do I have right here? Here's a warrior. We are the warriors right here. We are like this. We have light surrounding us. See this angel? This is an angel warrior. We've invited angels into our lives, into our physical reality. And here is evil down here, isn't it? An evil will lose. Can you see that? Yes, it will. It's going to lose. It's losing right now. So it's the last hurrah. All right, so the UFOs that are happening, the UFO story, I should say, the UFO story, not the UFOs that are happening, but the UFO story. Okay, so there was a UFO crash, and the mainstream media released that there was a 8-foot to 10-foot extraterrestrial with large eyes and a large mouth, and that they'd seen in the sky. There was police that had seen in the sky this blue saucer-like object, and it crashed. And then there was a man that saw these aliens up close, extraterrestrials. Now, is this a setup? Is this a real thing? Did this really happen? I'm not quite sure. A few podcasters have said, oh, did they bring in extraterrestrials to do, was this a setup, or did this really happen? Now, is this possible? Yes, they're here. They're already here. They've been here. They can come and go. They've been coming and going. They've had deals with our governments for decades. They've been here. Now they're the evil, the negative aliens and the extraterrestrials, and then they're the benevolent extraterrestrials. And I've mentioned those, and if you've been paying attention to these UFOs and extraterrestrials, you probably know exactly what I'm about to say. So this is the quote. There's like an 8-foot person outside, and another one, and it has big eyes and it has a big mouth, and it's looking at us, and it's still there. This is not a joke. This is not a joke. And the man said that it was a smooth, dark, shaped object. He said that this was non-human origin. So there was a police officer or police officers, and there was a man who saw this 8 to 10-foot alien in his backyard. So that's one story that came out recently. That was in Las Vegas. And then the other that came out in the last few days was from a whistleblower. And this whistleblower, I'm going to show you another extraterrestrial. And this is a gray alien. And we've known about grays for many years. We heard since we were kids, we heard about gray aliens because they were little gray men, and they had big eyes, and they abducted and did experiments. And was this happening? Maybe. Now, I always am reluctant to confirm anything unless I see it for myself with my own eyes, because we can be tricked, and I really cannot. It's almost like I don't want to lie about something, so I can't confirm or deny that this is the case, that these aliens had abducted people in the 1960s plus and did experiments. I don't know. There's a lot of speculation about these encounters. However, it's possible. So there's this whistleblower that came forward, and his name is David Charles Gausch. He's 36 years old, and he works in the government. And he claims, and he did some interviews in the last 3 days, he claims that UFOs, UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomenon, or unidentified flying objects, which is the terminology that we grew up with. And now they've taken that away because they want to take it more seriously. Like, we can't take it that seriously until we actually see them, because we kind of grew up being like told it was in sci-fi. However, if you're a contactee, either you physically saw a spaceship and it had an encounter with an alien, or you're a contactee where you are telepathically communicating with an extraterrestrial. You probably don't know if it's real or not because you haven't had an experience. When any of these aliens or any of these extraterrestrials touch down on us, and what I mean by that is they are either telepathically communicating or we're getting their frequency, their energy. It's a physical response. You know that it's a real thing. It's as though you are receiving from an outside source when we practice our clairsenses. It's something like that. And it's internal. You feel it within you. So this whistleblower speaks of proof of UFOs and non-human origin. And he says that for a very long time, decades, that the government has had these crashed spaceships and the debris and bodies. And his assertion is concerning the existence of extraterrestrial arms race occurring sub rosa over the past 80 years, focused on the reverse engineering technologies of unknown origin. That is what I believe that they've taken. Hey, who's that? MCT. We follow each other on Instagram. How are you from California? Yay! There's good body language video analysis that the whistleblower. Yes, I believe that whistleblower, because you know what? There's been many whistleblowers. It's just that we weren't allowed to hear from them, just like we haven't been allowed to hear about the secret government projects, the black projects, the space program. We haven't been allowed to hear about any of that. That's been kept under wraps from us. All right, so let's get into tunnels right now. I'm going to mention tunnels, and then I'm going to get into lucid dreams and light travel, because this is just our Earth news. We're not going to hang around talking about this for the whole evening or the whole day. All right, so I want to mention the tunnels because it's kind of actually in relation to the extraterrestrials. And what I'm referring to is the DUMS tunnels. So the DUMS tunnels are an acronym for, what is it? What's the acronym for? I have it somewhere here and I don't see it right now. So I'm going to move on by that. But anyway, so the DUMS tunnels are underground tunnels. They're military tunnels. And they've been there for a long time. We're not quite sure how long. And what we've realized as of lately, that there's been quite a bit of disclosure related to the DUMS tunnels and saving children. And this is kind of a little upsetting and a little harsh. So if you want to hang on or you want to come back in a few minutes, I'm not going to get into grave details. I'm going to touch on. And the DUMS tunnels have been torturing in the DUMS tunnels. They've been torturing, they've been sacrificing children, and they've been breeding children, and the children have not seen the light. And this is not made up. This is a true thing. There's DUMS tunnels underneath much of the globe, and I'm going to get into some of that. So what is the purpose of this, and why have they been doing this? Why have they been basically kidnapping and harming children? Before this androchrome, the androchrome factories. An androchrome is a chemical that is created from an individual that's upset, and they take it from the children. So they use this. Now, the white hats have been fighting evil, humans and non-humans. They say that there are extraterrestrials under the ground living in the DUMS tunnels. Now, again, I'm going to remind you that I am giving you some information that I have not experienced myself. I'm just sharing with you what I have heard and what I've read about. And I wanted to mention it so that we have awareness. I truly believe that everything that's true will surface, will come out. I always say the truth comes out in the wash. And I'm telling you this because to me, it's evident in the last few days, more so than I've ever known in my life, that evil is being shined upon, and evil is going to pay now. And they're going to pay, and there's going to be trials and tribunals and probably executions of the elite cabal deep state. So these underground tunnels, the good news is that the children that were held in cages in these underground tunnels are being rescued, and they have been being rescued since 2019. And we are going to have disclosure, and we are going to hear about this, and we're going to see videos, and more of this information is going to come out. And we're going to look at it for a second, and we're going to know it. We're going to wrap our brain around it, and then we're never going to want to know about it again. And I will give you some of the examples of what happened. They've rescued over 50,000 children. We're not talking about 5 or 6. We're talking about thousands of children. Now, whether we realize it or not, thousands of children go missing during wartime, in big cities. It went over the border, and they go missing. And there's no tallying up of who they are or where they're coming from. And so children go missing across the globe. And a lot of these tunnels can be found under cities, the large cities in the United States. Now, they found that these children were malnourished, abused, tortured, human sacrificed. Some of them had never seen sunlight. They were actually breeded under. They were mangled. They created these androchrome factories. Now, in these dumb tunnels, apparently there are stores, there are living quarters, there is food. So let me tell you some of the past events where the military alliance, DT, and the White Hats have basically saved these children. So these military operations, there was one in April 2019, and they saved children from DUMBs, and they cleared out children, corpses, cash, documents, and DUMBs tunnels. Here we go. Here's what it means. It means deep underground military bases. You can look this up. I'm not making this stuff up. It's a real thing. And again, why am I telling you this? I'm all about light, and I'm really here to share light techniques with you. But I have to tell you, what I've learned is that the more, if you want to have more light in your system, then you have to be able to handle more darkness, because darkness will try to get at us. And yes, we can spread light. We can hug with light. We can shift away darkness. However, we have to accept these truths. We have to be grown-ups here now. It's horrible stuff. So US, Canada, and Mexico have tunnels. So they were built and used by members of the Illuminati, the cabal, the deep state, the globalists, the politicians, Hollywood elite, because they drink blood of traumatized children. Now, we've spoken about vampires in the past, and there are literally people that eat flesh and drink blood. This is not a made-up thing. There's even restaurants that serve this. There's even some of our foods have human flesh in them. So what does androchrome do? Well, androchrome allegedly is a reverse aging, and it's something that is related to their, I guess you could say, when they sacrifice, but it's also related to their rituals. They have rituals, these secret societies. They believe in rituals, and this is passed down generation by generation, and then they bring their family into the same kind of philosophy. Now, this also goes with the pedophilia as well. There's a lot of that going on as well in these tunnels. So there's tunnels that are from the US to California, to New York, to Canada, Mexico, Europe, Italy. Be aware of this. The Vatican and Venice. The Hague, it's H-A-G, Hague, N-E. New Zealand, South America, and Middle East. Now, allegedly, under the Denver airport, there are tunnels. Now, in April 2020, 50,000 children were rescued under US cities. Now, apparently in New York, under Central Park, there was a rescue, and it ran from the Clinton Foundation to New York Harbor. August 20th, or August 2020, in Reno, Nevada, they found 1,000 children's bodies, and they were kidnapped and they were dead. They were found dead. Now we're going to backtrack to October 16th, 2019. 2,100 were held in cages in the California China Lake military facility, and they were rescued. Okay, that's a happy story. They were rescued. And then July 2019, they surprised personnel at the China Lake Naval Research Base in California, and they released 3,000 children. Now, these poor children that were tortured. Now, who is going to be held accountable for this? Someone is. Someone we're going to go after. Someone we're going to chase down the street like a mob with pitchforks, aren't we? They're not getting away with this. Everything is going to be found out, and they will be held accountable. Now, I don't know if you realize this, that it's kind of common knowledge that beneath the Getty Museum, there's also DUMS tunnels. And because of an earthquake, those tunnels were destroyed, but as well, they were torturing and holding children captive. Now, March 18th, 2020, there was an earthquake that just broke down the tunnels in Utah, which was considered Area 51 UFO base. All right, I'm almost done with this, and then we're getting on to lucid dreams, the happy stuff, the good stuff, the exciting stuff, the stuff that's going to make us and improve us to be the best version. All right, so in Australia, apparently there's tunnels that circle the entire Australia, and then they connect to Melbourne. And tunnels were raided, and in Black Forest, Germany, Barcelona, Spain, they rescued 2,000 women and children and arrested leaders. Apparently in Australia, there is a second layer of tunnels. So if I could give you some idea of how deep these tunnels are, I'm not really good at math, but allegedly they are 200 meters to ground level. Now, if I take out my phone and I kind of do the math, or I ask exactly what is 200 meters in miles, because I don't know the answer to that. I'm going to look that up so we kind of know. But 200 meters is equivalent to, let's see if it gives me the answer, because we know there's an AI that's here to tell us everything. I'm not big on the AI concept, to be honest with you. Okay, so let's see. What does it say? It's going to give it to me. So come on, tell me. It's considered, how long is it considered? 200 meters is, it's not really giving me the answer. It says it's 1,600 miles. Is that right? I don't know what the answer is. Well, anyway, they say that, so they said that in Lebanon, there's a tunnel that's 200 miles to ground level, 30 to 40 feet wide, 15 to 20 feet high. There's roads, shops, there's places to sleep, there's storage, there's food, there's safes. Now, there are some tunnels that were blown up. And what I believe that they do is, hey, Bob Harding, thanks for joining us. You follow the Johnny Gauche and Paul rabbit hole. Okay. Well, thanks for sharing that. Apparently what the plan is when the military goes in and they rescue these children that have been held captive and they've been tortured and kept in cages, they blow up the tunnels so they can never be used again. They are massive labyrinths. They're massive. Now, the tunnels at the Vatican, it's been said that they removed from the tunnels below the Vatican 650 plane loads of gold, cash, and documents. We have to know that when there is a hurricane, when there is a war, when there is some some crossings over the borders. Not all those children that come across the border are ever found again. It's very scary what I'm telling you, isn't it? It breaks my heart, like beyond anything you could imagine. Like I'm broken, and I could tell you that in 2015, when I started more or less awakening, I had a spiritual awakening, I guess you could say, a Kundalini awakening. I had premonition dreams, and I had these dreams, and I don't know if they were considered remote viewing. This is a personal experience, or if this was a past dream, if it was something that was going on right in that moment. But I saw it inside the tunnels, and I saw bones, like piles of bones of children. And I knew it wasn't even as though I ever heard any information. It's like I was telepathically told what this was. And I remember being horrified by it. And I said, oh, this must be fake, or this can't be real, can it? But I believe it is. Okay, so let's get on to some good stuff here. Let's move on to lucid dreams, because lucid dreams are very helpful in actually raising our vibration to a higher frequency, connecting to your higher consciousness, and developing more of your own gifts and abilities. And that's what I'm really here about. Yes, I'm going to talk about topics, and we spend 36 minutes doing that because it's good to have all the boundaries. Like I say, when I tune into someone, when I go into a situation, it's like this, all of me, all the systems within me intuitively figure out the boundaries, because if you don't know the boundaries, you can be in a place of danger. You can be in a place of unwittingly having an experience you don't want to. And the more that we tune into our clairsenses, then the more apt we are able to actually reach all of our dreams and our desires. Before I get on to lucid dreams, I want to mention angels are beings of light. They come from the heavens to earth. They're here to protect humanity. You can ask for angels to come into your existence. Now, I bring up angels. I want to balance the goodness with some darkness. I believe balance. We should have balance within us, alignment. Our thoughts, words, and actions should have alignment, which means that if we're thinking something, saying something different, doing something completely separate, we don't have alignment within us. We aren't going to be able to achieve what we want to achieve. So we must have alignment. Angels come from the heavens to protect humanity. They ascend and descend on a staircase from heaven. You might experience a brush across your face, and you're like, oh, that doesn't feel like anything. That's not wind. That's energy. That's some kind of energy. Angels are made up of energy, just like we are. Our thoughts are made up of energy. And the more that we ask for goodness to come into our, I guess, our minds, our spirit, our lives, then I guess more personal serenity we'll receive, the more capable we are of having our dreams come true. All right, so lucid dreams. Have you experienced a lucid dream? What's Bob Harding saying? Last year, more than 2,700. Yes. And when people hear that 2,700, how do they keep track? Well, if a child is born and it's hidden, they don't have a birth certificate, so there's no recognition that they were here, or they've been here, and they're innocent. And they're our future. The children are our future, and we want to protect them. We want to save them from harm, and we have to be warriors. And you know what? We are, as adults, we are so strong, and we don't even realize it. We're highly advanced. We're not even using all our capabilities. You have so much more that you're able to do, and you don't realize. If you tap into your potential. You tap into the light that you have within you and the light that's in the universe, beyond the clouds, your higher consciousness, divine energy. You will realize that you're so much smarter. You're so much more gifted. You have a stronger personality that you can bring forward. So our lucid dreams, if you have been activated, if you have realized that there's another possibility out there, another way that you can think and be, a new belief system, you have become more aware, you've expanded your consciousness, then you might have had some lucid dreams. So a lucid dream is a dream that you realize that it's a dream. Now you're not really asleep, you're awake, but you're in a different state. You're in more of, you're awake and you can feel it physically. A lucid dream for me is I'm alerted. Every single cell in my body seems that it is on, I guess you could say, lit up. That's what it feels like to me. So it can be very real. It's emotional. You feel like it's an emotional experience, a lucid dream. Anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm Mary Amy. I'm coming to you live. And it's during REM sleep, your rapid eye movement. So a lucid dream essentially is a dream which the dreamer is aware that they are dreaming. And the dreamer is aware that there are events flashing through their brain, and they even have somewhat of an ability to change the outcome of the dream. It feels very vivid and very real, and you're connected to it on almost a different level that you can say that when you're actually walking around or when you're sleeping. We have been practicing claircognizance. We did that the other day. And we are getting more advanced here. And I hope you hang on and you continue to do these exercises, because we are building the energy and the light on this globe together. And if you say, oh, it's just little old me, it's not making a difference, it is. It's making a difference. Every single time that you do one of these activities or you practice your clairsenses, it's changing the energy on the planet. You're bringing more light. You're doing really what you were supposed to be doing. We were all supposed to be coming from a place of telepathy, of our emotions, of our feelings. We were shut down. We were told to take this pill. And we were kind of kept quiet. Go to the classroom, sit in the chair, not sit down and draw a picture all day, not have joy, not dance, not sing, not have fun. We were told basically we were being, you could say, mind controlled into this whole thought process of, this is the information, this is all that you know, this is science, this is medicine, this is history. And we weren't given a chance to kind of discover, maybe that's a story. Did that really happen? And now that there's this disclosure, we're realizing that maybe some of it didn't happen. Now, you may be able to control how your actions unfold in your lucid dream. Now, if we start to ask for lucid dreams, if we say, I would like to dream tonight, I would like to dream tonight, the more that we say that, the more possibility that we will dream. And if your DNA is activated, if you are ascending to this higher consciousness, whether it's through meditation, spending time in nature, if you had a mystical experience, if you are practicing light worker techniques, healer techniques, you might very well have experienced lucid dreams, and you will. If you want to, you will. So what are some benefits of lucid dreams? Some benefits are less anxiety, you'll feel more empowered, you'll have better motor skills, you'll improve doing simple things, and you will improve problem solving. You might just wake up in the morning and have the answers. and definitely be more creative. Now, how would you like to activate this? How would you like to have this happen? Have lucid dreams. Definitely practice your clear senses, because I could tell you that the more I got in touch with my clairvoyance, my empathy, my claircognizance, then the more lucid dreams I received. Now, if you come from a place where you're running around, or you're not even running around, you're just living your life and you're kind of taking advantage of others, service to self, you don't really care how everybody else is, you don't have much compassion, the chances that you're going to ascend and awaken and have lucid dreams are minimal. You kind of have to get through your stuff. You have to look at it. Like I say, write down your issues on a piece of paper and look at it. And don't run away. Don't prevent yourself and sabotage yourself from experiencing your potential. Now, if you start by writing a dream journal, it's going to help your chances of having a lucid dream, telling yourself that you will dream. Now, lucid dreams are associated with awareness and reflections, and your I guess you could say your moods, your senses are going to be heightened during a lucid dream. Now, you also will possibly, everything I'm saying is a possibility. Not everyone's going to have the same experience. You might begin to receive information about future events during a lucid dream. Now, for me, I can tell you from my personal experience what it has been my lucid dreams. Well, in the past, I shared with you some of my lucid dreams. I wrote them down in my dream journal and I pulled it out and I showed you pictures and I told you some of my experiences. So my lucid dreams have been, I'm on an extraterrestrial ship. I am having not a conversation, but more telepathic thoughts between me and an extraterrestrial. I have gone remote viewing. I have spirits come right into my face and try to communicate with me. And that's been my experience. Yours might be completely different. Everyone's going to have a different experience because we all have different abilities. Your clair abilities are going to align with your DNA blueprint. And it's going to be, maybe you're going to be like extremely gifted at seeing other locations. You might be channeling. You might channel angels, a consciousness. I guess you could say a prophet. Maybe you channel the Virgin Mary or Jesus or Gandhi. Whatever it is, everyone's going to be different. I used to find and dispose of bombs, and I wasn't always good at it. But after getting blown up a few times, it seemed to wake up. So, all right. So, are you last year? Are you talking about really Bob Harding? Or are you speaking about in your dreams? All right. Now, there's something that's called metacognition. And metacognition is an awareness of one's thought processes and understanding of the patterns behind them. So you have a knowing beyond. And how can I describe this? Well, I'm going to draw it for you because I want you to understand. Where's my pen? So it would be like, I'll give you an example. So metacognition would probably be something like this. Here you are. Can you see that? Here you are. So it would be like right now, you would say, okay, what are my actions, thoughts? What is my awareness? What am I thinking about? Okay. So I'll use me as an example. Here I am. What am I thinking about? I'm thinking about the fact that it's the weekend, it's Friday, and what am I going to be doing this weekend? And then it would be, here I am thinking that, and then here I am over me, looking at myself. What are my thoughts? What am I doing? It's coming from it could come from any perspective. So it could be an aerial view. It could be coming from the side. It's like coming from the ground, whatever it is. It could be you realizing that I'm in a home and this is the environment. That's what metacognition. It's becoming aware of your thinking, of your patterns, and what you're doing. It's knowing. It's a knowing. And you become very good at problem solving and strategies. Now I know that how I see things is I come into a situation and I check out all the boundaries. So I check out from every single angle. And that's just how my mind works. That's what metacognition is. We are all capable of everything I'm telling you. There's nothing that I'm saying to you that you cannot do. You can do everything. It just takes practice. And everything that I'm saying to you is a way for you to actually be smarter, be more aware, be more creative, use your imagination, stretch yourself, stretch all of you. Now there's something else called mnemonic, which is assisted memory. Knowing, recognizing that lucid dreams is not real within a dream feels like your inner world. So you have a knowing when you have a lucid dream that this is not a dream. You know it's not real. However, it's part of your inner world. Why do we want to connect to our inner world? Why do we want to connect to our, it's a whole other dimension. It's a whole nother possibility. And now we're going to get onto light travel. We're going to get on to light travel. Let's see. So light travel. And I'm going to mention the Merkaba. I don't know if you remember the Merkaba. And we're going to talk about our chakras. All right, so this is a Merkaba. We're going to get into what a Merkaba is. Everybody remembers. So light travel. In the last few days, it's almost like I had this epiphany. Now, I can tell you that I think that this kind of triggered it for me. I got this book online, and it was about this. It's called the Palladian Light Workbook. And the author talks about light work, and she discusses the Palladians. So the Palladians are part of the Galactic Federation of Light. They are considered an extraterrestrial, and they are benevolent, and they are here, I guess, or they've been here, and they're here to save humanity, bring us to a place of peace and love. And I think that this book triggered me into going down more of, if you want to say, like Bob Harding said, a rabbit hole. All right, so light travel. Can we travel? Can we time travel? Are we capable of traveling through space and time? Now, often I speak of right here in the moment. So let's do it right now. I say, we are here in this moment, aren't we? We can't think about tomorrow or the past. We are here right now. How are we going to create our dreams and our desires right here in this moment? We can't say, oh, in 20 years or next week, because that's impossible. That's impossible, because the only thing that matters is right here in this moment. So we must create it in this moment that I'm speaking right now. And we begin by having gratitude for this moment and saying, oh, I'm so grateful to be here. We let out a breath. We get away from our thoughts. Maybe you have looping thoughts. Maybe you keep thinking about the same thing over and over again. We can have control over our thoughts. We want to be here right in this moment. So right here in this moment, I'm holding up this crystal gemstone. So I want to remind myself, where am I? So that I don't get overwhelmed. I'm here in this moment and I have gratitude. So here's the couch. There's little Elsa. Here's this book. I'm speaking to you on this video. And then the next step is to imagine right here in front of you in this moment. Now, whether you would like to close your eyes to have more concentration or keep your eyes open, it's entirely up to you. So you've let out a breath. And in this moment, you want to see right here with grave detail, with details of color, of how you feel, the environment, what is it made out of? What does it look like? Details. What does it sound like? What does it smell like? What do you want in your life? If I said to you, and I say at the end of every single video, I say, I'm spinning light, make a wish, and you're in the center of it. That's got to be what we're talking about right now. What is it that you want? Is there something that resonates with you? Have you said, oh, I can't do this. I don't have enough money for it. I'll never be able to. So-and-so told me I couldn't. My family member, my teacher, my coworker, my best friend, whoever it is. And they said, oh, you can't do that. And they mocked you maybe. They made fun of you, or they joked about you, or maybe they had the thought and didn't tell you, and then they ruined it for you. We tell no one, whatever it is that we want, what we desire. Now, is it possible that you have this thing right here that I'm talking about? Yes. And do you know how I know? Because if you didn't have this thought or this idea that came to you, that's operating on the same frequency as you, your spirit, your essence has all the answers. It has wisdom, ancient wisdom. Your spirit's telling you this is what is ideal for you. So you can have it, whatever it is. So you want to just say to yourself, you want to see it. You want to imagine it right here. What are you doing? Maybe there's people around. What do they look like? What are their expressions? What is your expression? As long as this brings you happiness and joy, you can masterfully manifest it. You can absolutely 1,000,000 trillion %. Now, we're going to get on to light travel now. So light travel. There's nothing that travels faster than light. So in an hour, light travels 670 million miles in an hour. So a ray of light is very powerful. I'm going to share with you some interesting information related to light because this is where we are going. This is how you will move into another, how do I say this? Another dimension, through another portal. And you will feel more buoyant, I could say. You will feel more light. You'll feel lighter. You won't feel as heavy. You will start to have experiences that you really can't necessarily describe because they seem so out of the ordinary. They seem a little bit supernatural, real life phenomenon. And it's like, how can I describe it? It's almost as though every single element within you, every cell within you is magnified. And it's magnified in a good way. And you are like, all of you is in touch of it all at the same time. And that when you have light in your system, that's what it feels like. And I'm going to share this with you because I want to give you some techniques about shifting yourself through light, moving through light, becoming one with light. And it's possible. So let me give you some definitions of light because I really believe that everyone learns differently. So maybe I'm speaking about, maybe when I show something, you catch on. Some are auditory, some are visual, and some are just energy learners. So I'm going to share different ways because then you might catch it a different way than I would or someone else. So a ray of light. When electromagnetic source generates light, the light travels outward as a series of sectronic spheres spaced in accordance with the vibration of the source. So light takes the shortest path between a source and destination. When I say, let's send light to, for example, it's all my, there's method to my madness. Hang on with me. When I say, let's wrap light around the globe, let's send light to a certain country, we are basically, essentially, realizing how we can connect to light. We can see light. If it's in our system, in our spirit, in our mind, maybe it's in our heart, and we're actually sending it somewhere. We're sending it somewhere. That's why I'm sharing this with you, because we are all capable of sending light. We are all capable of accessing light. Now, light is matter. Everything is matter. Everything is energy. Okay, so light is a wave or a stream of photons called a beam. A light year is the distance light travels in 1 Earth year. So when we hear the term, how many light years away is planet Jupiter? They're saying that when they say a light year, it's the distance that light travels in 1 Earth year. So 1 light year is 6 trillion miles. That is something I didn't know. 6 trillion miles. All right, so what we want to do is we want to hold light energy to help shift the planet to a higher consciousness. Now, these suggestions that I'm about to share with you is a way to help people to get out of the shadows. It's a way to bring light to darkness. It's a way of shifting away any negativity within you. When I say, imagine a band of light 1 foot wide and it's circling you. It's a way of shifting away darkness. Now you say, well, that sounds like so kind of not real. It's kind of a little abstract. It's not possible. It is possible. The more light that you hold within your system, within you, then the more light that you can send. Now, what we do here is we're actually bringing more light into our system. When I say to you, let's imagine a ball of light in our heart and it's spinning. We are bringing light. We are actually stretching ourselves. Are you still with me? Are you still with me? All right. Now, I would like to share with you a Merkaba. So a Merkaba, and I've told you about a Merkaba before. I don't know if you remember. Now, this is a very, very simplistic drawing of a Merkaba because I'm actually taking it from online to show you. So a Merkaba is 2 triangles. Do you see the triangles? And then there's a person in the middle, and then there's spinning. So each triangle is spinning in a different direction. So a Merkaba is an ancient light vehicle, and it's a way of traveling from one dimension to another. And you say, this is ridiculous. And I'm going to tell you it's not. And I'm just going to tell you a personal experience, and then I'm going to talk to you about the Merkaba and how to do it, okay? Now, I know you say, oh, is this a real story? But it is. Okay. In 2013, this is a personal story. In 2000, wait, now let me start over. 2011, I was exposed to mediums, psychics, intuitives. And then I started basically a transformation. Now, prior to that, I didn't realize that I was intuitive. I thought everyone knew everyone else's personality. How do I even say this? They were capable of knowing things before they happened, events. They had premonitions. I thought everyone did. I didn't know. And I started to become more aware of my skill set, and I started to really practice my psychic abilities and my empathic abilities. And then by 2015, for whatever reason, I started, without even being told, I started spinning light. Now, I didn't literally stand here and I didn't spin light. How do I say this? I didn't spin light the way I do now, where I say you're standing in the middle of it, and I'm spinning light around you. I literally did it in my mind. So I'd be driving down the street and I'd be blasting music. And a lot of times I spent many hours in the car driving to different locations. And I would be hearing the music, and then I would be seeing all the foliage, and I would be in my mind seeing myself in the middle of light. And I would spin myself one way and the light would be spinning another. And that's exactly what a Merkaba was. Now, no one told me to do this. It must have been from a past incarnation. I didn't know. And so when I started doing this, so I would basically, and I'll walk you through it and you can try doing it yourself. This is how I brought more light into my system. This is how I achieved different clair senses. And I was capable of giving readings. So this is what I would like you to do. I'd like you to close your eyes or keep your eyes open. It's entirely up to you. Like I said, personal experience. Maybe you are operating from a different skill set than I am. I'm just telling you what happens to me. So I'd like you to imagine that you can see yourself. Like I said, maybe if you close your eyes, it's easier. You can see yourself and you are spinning. And you could be spinning left or right, clockwise or counterclockwise. And you are spinning. And then imagine light, white light, spinning in the opposite. Now, if you need to do this to get it to happen, so maybe do this, and then you see yourself spinning in the opposite direction. Now, what I started to do was I started doing this for different people. And it was actually, I began helping to heal people this way. So that's a possibility if you would like to begin by spinning light around yourself or someone else. And you just see yourself and then you spin yourself the other way. So you're spinning one direction and the light is spinning the other. And that is basically a Merkaba. All right, so I'll explain it to you in more detail now. A Merkaba is a light vehicle for space and time, and it's interdimensional travel. So this ancient light vehicle is for ascension, and it's designed to transition you into the light being that you are. And it will assist you in attaining higher levels of consciousness and awareness. So this is going to help you. This is going to help you. Now, what happens is when you start to do this, now if we want to go to it, we want to do another activity besides what I just said. What we're going to do is we're going to imagine a Merkaba. Imagine a humongous, enormous triangle that's coming down from the heavens, from the sky. It could be clear, it could be made of light, whatever you want. And this triangle is coming down from the heavens and it's hitting right here. Okay, the point of it's hitting right here. And then there's another triangle that's coming up from the earth and the two are connecting. And again, this is actually going to be spinning in one direction and you are spinning in another. Okay, now what happens is when you start to do this, when you start to imagine this light vehicle around you and it's spinning, and maybe you need to use your hands like I do. Maybe you just can see it. Maybe you close your eyes and you lay down on your bed or on a chair and you start to visualize it. What happens is it actually spreads out, the energy activates an energy field 55 feet wide, and it will facilitate ascension for you. So you will travel to higher and lower worlds. Now, a Merkaba stands for Mer light. Counter rotates within itself. Ba, human body. and Ka, human spirit. So it's all of you. It's a light body spirit. So the rotating light body spirit to another world. Now it's a balance of electromagnetic field and your aura. And it's limitless. It's limitless. So be aware of this. Everything I'm saying might be new to you. You might already know all of this. And if you already know about this, I might mention something, or it might just remind you to practice. We don't have to sit around all day practicing these activities. It's not necessary, because as soon as you allow something in and you have confidence and you have belief and you take away any doubt, it's there. You don't have to push. You don't have to force anything. Just let it flow and see what happens. It's a big change from our normal everyday life, these activities. All right, I'm going to get into one healer technique that I came up with, and then we'll do some psychic phenomenon. So I pulled up this picture because it reminded me of kind of what we're speaking about today. And it looks as though there's an energy field around this person here. And then this is actually showing different patterns. So this looks like to me that this is a little bit more troublesome, and then this is more clear. And I think that's what it's saying, actually. This is a perfect balance, and this is energy distortion. When we start to clear away with light, we start to clear away negativity that's in our energy field that surrounds us. We will feel better. We will sleep better. We will dream better. We will be bringing in more positive situations and circumstances into our life, into our hopes and dreams, into our relationships. All right, so anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Okay, we hit the 1 hour mark. We're past 1 hour now. Let's see what else I wanted to mention. So let's try this healer technique. This is what I would like you to do. Ready? It's a suggestion. Everything I say is a suggestion. I would like you to, like I say, you can imagine, you can close your eyes or keep them open. Relax. Relax first and foremost. Because when we relax and we let go of any tension in our bodies, we are more apt to be able to do some of these exercises and feel them and expose ourselves to a different way of thinking, a different way of, I guess, entering this physical reality and reminding ourselves that we are a body, we are a spirit, we're a body and a spirit. Now, our spirit is going to kind of determine whether or not we do something, isn't it? Because our spirit, if our spirit doesn't like something, we don't go to it. If our spirit likes something or loves something, we are running towards it. Our physical body is just doing a lot of the work in the physical reality. And what we're doing here right now in this moment is more related to our spirit, but we're sitting here in our bodies, aren't we? Okay, so what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to maybe, if you choose, close your eyes. So you're closing your eyes and imagine yourself, you're standing up. And you have a tube. Imagine a tube. So here's a cylinder. We would say this glass is a cylinder, isn't it? It's round. So we want to imagine ourselves that we are in like a cylinder, a tube, and we have light. It's a light cylinder. So we're standing up and there's a tube of light around us, a cylinder of light around us, and it's from the floor to the ceiling. So you're standing in this, and it's a cylinder of light is probably pretty much a protective system that's around you. Now, as you're standing here in this cylinder of light, this tube of light, I'd like you to remind yourself that you are capable of moving with light. You're capable of connecting and being part of light, whether you realize it or not. When we bring light into our system, light is part of us. When we bring light into our heart, when we send light, it's part of us. We have light that's in our hearts. Okay, so we are in this cylinder of light, aren't we? From floor to ceiling. Now I'd like you to hear beyond the walls of the room. We're connecting to our claircognizance. And it's our hearing, our seeing, our feeling. So we're starting by hearing. We're in this cylinder of light, and we're hearing beyond the walls of the room. First, start with the room. What are you hearing? Are you hearing a frequency? You're hearing something that's in the room? Is there energy that you're sensing in the room? You're hearing it. Now, are you hearing, for me, beyond the walls of the room, I'm hearing nature outside. I'm hearing there's a street out there. I want you to really focus on listening. Now, you're not pushing it. You're just listening. So you're listening beyond the walls of the room. And you're in this tube of light. You're present in this moment. Now, I'd like you to imagine that you are this light. You are part of this light. The light, you are with the light. You're connected. You are essentially the light. So now you are the light. Now I'd like you to imagine that you're going to turn sideways. So you're going to be vertical and parallel to the horizon. You are this light turning sideways. So basically you're a line of light. So you're flowing through this line of light. And then now I would like you to imagine that you're slowing down time. So you're in this line of light. You are this light. You've moved to a vertical stance. You're parallel to the horizon and you're this light. And I'd like you to imagine that you're traveling through this light, through time and space. Now it's entirely up to you. You're going through basically a portal of light. You are this light. What's on the other side? I'm going to be quiet and see if you have an experience. Okay, so I'm going to remind you, who's that? Hey, Tommy. I'm going to remind you that when you're doing this activity, this exercise, you're hearing, you're seeing, you're feeling. So you're masterfully juggling these three clear senses. So you're traveling through the light, and I'm going to share with you what I experienced. So at first I heard something, and this sounds really strange. When I was a kid, there was one of those cartoons, and it had this creature that had these sharp teeth, and it would be like, and it had this kind of crazy laugh to it. I don't know what cartoon that was, but that's kind of what I saw and heard. And then I saw it first I heard it, and then I saw it in the form of a being. It was a creature. So I traveled through this light to the other side. It was this line of light. I became one with the light. I moved through it. I slowed down space and time, and I heard this sound. Then I saw it, and then I felt it. Now, what I've realized in the last few days when I'm practicing this exercise, nothing that I travel to or see is scaring me. And I don't know why that is. I don't know if if I must not be fearful of most anything anymore beyond this realm, because nothing is scaring me anymore. I don't know if you had an experience. Share it with us if you have. Okay, so let's do one more activity before we go, because we're at an hour and 20 minutes, and I know that it's Friday night. All right. I want to just mention to you about Tesla. What I'm hearing right now is we are going to be told and allowed to receive free energy, and the patents that were taken and the inventions that give us, whether it's healing us, we live longer, the med bed pods, the free energy where we're not going to use gasoline anymore, forget about the electric cars, is going to be coming through Tesla. Tesla had many inventions, and they were hidden from us. I have here, it's interesting, I pulled this up quite a while ago. It was about the Tesla coils. Now, if you joined me a few weeks ago, I'd shared with you a copper coil. When you attach a copper coil to the earth and you put it next to a plant and you have it wind up. Here, let me show you a picture. I have one here of a Tesla coil. I don't think I do. Well, here's a coil right here, if you can see that. So a coil is going to be something that kind of looks like almost a vortex, how it goes down, it spins down. And when you attach it with the soil and this copper coil reaches up to the sky, it doesn't have to be high up in the sky, it can be this high. And with the plant, what ends up happening is you are creating around it an energy field, and it's preventing chemtrails, it's preventing any of this toxins that they've been throwing out into our atmosphere, and it's helping the plants to grow. So look into Tesla coil, look into the inventor of so many, I guess you could say, ways for us to have free energy. Here it is right here, if you want to look at that. Can you see that, everybody? All right, so let's do one more clear activity. Let's do a clear activity. So let's close our eyes. So we're going to relax. We're going to release any tension that we have in our neck, right? We're going to imagine that we are putting all of our weight in our root chakra, the bottom of our spine. Maybe we let out a breath. And we're like a jellyfish. We loosen up our arms. We allow any energy that we have that we're holding on to release itself through our fingertips. Okay? So we're dropping down. We're pushing away any doubt. We are having self-confidence. We're capable of doing this. We are giving ourselves a willingness. You're willing to do this. You're not saying it's a joke. You believe it's possible. Don't sabotage yourself. So we push away any doubt. We're going to drop down into our physical being. Oh, we forgot breathing. Let's focus on our breathing. Let's do 3 inhales and exhales together. Okay? All right, so this is a way to bring more stillness into your system, more quiet. We lower our heart rate, our blood pressure, and we're not using any of our thoughts. We're going to just tune into all of our senses. So we're going to make physical contact with our body, with our physical being, and we're going to remind ourselves of our clear senses. So let's begin with our hearing. So we're reminding ourselves beyond the walls of the room, start within the room, then beyond the walls of our room, our clear audience, right? Our clear audience beyond the walls of the room. What are you hearing? Are sounds magnified? Are you hearing energy? Are you hearing frequencies? Are you hearing what's going on in your world, in your physical reality? Now, when you have some kind of knowing, you have information that comes into you, you're a receiver. You're a receiver, and you're also a transmitter. So you're receiving thought transference, you're receiving information from another source. For example, when I just did the last exercise, I was receiving information from another source. I heard sounds. I heard this sound. Now I'd like you to remind yourself of your clairvoyance, seeing beyond this realm, seeing and knowing something else exists. Maybe it's in the future. Maybe it's the past. Maybe it's a spirit, an angel, an extraterrestrial, whatever it is. You might see a completely different dimensional location. Okay, so you're hearing, you're seeing, so we're joining them together. It's like a little triangle we're making, aren't we? So you're hearing beyond the walls of the room. You're seeing through your clairvoyance, another realm. You're reminding yourself. And then you're feeling, what are you feeling? Because what's going to end up happening and what you're going to experience is you're going to start feeling whatever's going on energetically in that physical reality that you are seeing and hearing. It's not necessarily going to be your feelings. In fact, it probably isn't. You're going to get a sense of the mood of the space. All right, so we're doing that. We have those three going on at the same time. Plus, we're relaxing. We're pushing away any thoughts. It's a lot of juggling we're doing, but you can do it. You're advanced. You're capable of this. And now I'm going to make a suggestion. And then I'll be quiet and you have the experience. I'm making the suggestion that you are at your ultimate destiny. You're at your ultimate destiny. You're hearing, you're seeing, you're feeling. Okay, I don't know if you had an experience. I did. Thank you for the information show. I got to go. Oh, well, thanks for joining us. So I had my own experience. I hope you did. I hope you had some kind of experience. This is practice. I appreciate everyone who's here. You're a worthy being of light. You're cherished. You're loved. You're beautiful. You're highly advanced. You're multidimensional. Doesn't matter what you look like. Doesn't matter what you have, what you do as your occupation. Doesn't matter where you live. You're worthy, you're gold. You must love yourself, tune into yourself, and love yourself. Now, you might have a bad day, and you say, I'm very sad right now. I can't even tell you how sad I am. And I'm going to remind you to remember your three authentic characteristics that make you genuine. No one else is like you ever. No one else has what you have. No one else has your skill set, your abilities. So what are your 3 authentic characteristics? Maybe it's about something that you like about how you look. It's got to be the 3 most favorite parts of you that you have that make you excited. And you're like, I'm so excited. This is who I am. And it brings brightness into your day. Remind yourself of these three characteristics, because we all have those days. We all have those moments that we are just, maybe we're triggered into feeling really bad. Something traumatic might have happened, a memory, something from our history. And we say, oh, and you start to cry, or you just want to climb into your bed. Whatever it is, remind yourself of your 3 characteristics, because you are magnificent. You're beautiful. We must have self-love, self-acceptance. I hope everyone has a wonderful evening. And I want to remind you, tonight we had Earth News. I spoke about the wildfires, the UFO crashes, DUMBs, tunnels, lucid dreams, light travel. Now, the Merkaba, where's the picture of the Merkaba? The Merkaba, where is it? I'm just going to say before I go, a quick comment about the Merkaba. Where the heck did I put the picture of the Merkaba? Merkaba, where are you? Okay, so the Merkaba will change you. So it's a great change begins. The body change aspects of oneself, connecting with divine light, a higher self. Your Merkaba field can become alive at any specific moment in this lifetime. So it can just, you can trigger it, in other words. So your Merkaba field can become alive. And when this occurs, an electromagnetic change creates a disk of energy near the base of the spine, expanding 50 to 60 feet around the body. Your Merkaba is a living field, okay? And it responds to human thoughts and feelings. The feeling of love in your heart. It's a symbol of spiritual transformation and ascension. And chakra energy centers around and regulates the flow of energy. So it's divine energy. It's constantly spinning, balancing, flowing. So as soon as you activate it, it can be occurring without you putting, I guess, some kind of pressure on it or creating it. It will just happen. It's a spiral of energy in DNA and transports you from one dimension to another. All right, everyone, be well. I'm spinning light, and you're in the center of it. And hopefully you've already made that wish. Hopefully you've already created your destiny, your desired outcome, your dreams. And I'm spinning light around you, and you're spinning the other direction. I want good things for you. You're in the center. You're making a wish. I'm spinning it counterclockwise. There you go. Everyone be well. I'll be back again this weekend. I'm kind of busy. I will be doing a show in the next few days. Maybe I'll upload it. I don't have any guests right now. I'm going to get some more guests, I promise. And you can look at my videos. I have 360 videos at least. More than that, I think. And I guess I have, most recently, I have Psychic Joan Cara. I have Bigfoot expert Rick Relez. And you can look back if you want to be activated. Jilly Clark is an angelic channeler. Peter Hansen as well. If you want some sound healing, Shayna Blackmar. So everyone have a wonderful weekend and be well. Bring light into your system and know that more disclosures coming. Bye.